It finally happened. After months of silence, rumors, and wild speculation, HBO just dropped the first official image from their Harry Potter reboot series, and the internet lost its mind. Not because it was perfect, not because it was terrible, but because it was real. For the first time in over a decade, we're seeing a new Harry Potter. A new face, a new tone, a completely different vision of a story that defined a generation. And whether you grew up with the books, the films, or just the memes, this image, it hit everyone like a spell to the chest. But why did it explode like this? What exactly does the image show? And is this the beginning of something magical, or a disaster in the making? Let's break it down. The image is simple, but loaded with meaning. At first glance, it looks innocent enough. A young boy, standing in the middle of the Gryffindor common room. He's holding a letter, his eyes wide, the red and gold around him glowing in candlelight. But the second fan saw it, everything erupted. Why? Because this wasn't just any scene. This was the scene. The exact moment Harry first finds out he's not normal, that he's a wizard, that his life is about to change forever. Except, something's different. The tone, the lighting, the atmosphere. This isn't the colorful, cozy Hogwarts we remember. It's darker, moodier, almost gothic. And the kid playing Harry? He doesn't look like Daniel Radcliffe. He's younger, sharper features. And he's not smiling. It's a reimagining. And that's what caught people off guard. Some fans were instantly obsessed. They zoomed in, picked apart every candle, every curtain. Others called it a betrayal. "This doesn't feel like Harry Potter," one fan posted. "It feels like a horror movie." And that's exactly what got people talking. Because if this is the tone of the reboot, HBO's not just retelling the story, they're rebuilding it. From the shadows. As the image spread, it didn't take long before fans asked the obvious question. Who is this kid? And then came the reveal. The actor cast as Harry Potter, a complete newcomer. No blockbuster roles, no famous family, just a quiet, trained young actor, suddenly thrown into the spotlight of one of the most iconic roles in film history. Reactions? Explosive. Some fans praised the choice, saying it was refreshing to see HBO cast someone who wasn't already a household name. Others weren't so kind. Side-by-side comparisons flooded X and Instagram. The new Harry versus Daniel Radcliffe. Too serious. Not innocent enough. He looks like he already knows magic. And the most brutal comment? He looks like Tom Riddle in disguise. But here's the thing. HBO wanted this reaction. By going with a lesser-known cast, they're not just replacing faces. They're signaling something bigger. This series won't rely on nostalgia. It's building its own legacy. And that choice? It's already dividing the fandom. But if you think that's controversial, just wait till you hear what fans discovered next. Long before HBO dropped the image, whispers were already circling the fandom. Anonymous leaks on Reddit, blurry concept art, alleged casting sheets. All of it pointing to one thing. This series was going to be darker. Way darker. One leak claimed the show would lean heavily into the horror elements of the Wizarding World. Dementors that actually terrify you, a Hogwarts that feels alive and dangerous. And when fans saw that image, it suddenly made sense. They started connecting dots. That lighting, it looks just like the cover of The Cursed Child. Is this reboot set in an alternate timeline? Wait, is that the veil from the Department of Mysteries in the background? Wild theories took over. Some believe this isn't a reboot at all, but a reimagining where characters and events play out differently. Others are convinced this version of Harry is already marked, not just by Voldemort, but by something else entirely. And then there's the boldest theory yet, that HBO series will reveal the Wizarding World isn't as magical as we thought. It's corrupt, twisted, and hiding truths Dumbledore never wanted anyone to know. It's all speculation, but that's exactly what's fueling the hype. And behind it all, a single burning question. What is HBO really hiding? Let's be clear. This isn't just a reboot, it's a billion-dollar bet. HBO isn't reviving Harry Potter out of love for the books. They're doing it because they have to. Streaming wars are brutal. Netflix is dominating, Disney has Marvel and Star Wars, and HBO, they've got memories. After the disaster that was the Game of Thrones finale, HBO's reputation took a hit. Big one. And their follow-up series, The Idol? Let's not even go there. So now they're reaching into the vault, pulling out their nuclear option, the Wizarding World. But here's the risk. Harry Potter isn't just another fantasy franchise. It's sacred. One wrong step, one bad casting, one botched storyline, one tone that feels off, and fans will burn it to the ground. And HBO knows it. That's why this image wasn't leaked. It was released. Intentionally, carefully, with just enough mystery to spark chaos, without revealing anything real. This is their move. And now all eyes are watching. Because if this fails, there's no second chance. If the internet exploded over the image, it detonated when HBO confirmed the name behind it all. Yes, J.K. Rowling is back. Not just as a background advisor or a quiet consultant, but as an executive producer. And the reaction? Instant controversy. Some fans saw it as a return to authenticity. Finally, a version that stays true to the books. Others called it a mistake, a massive one. Because Rowling's name doesn't just carry legacy anymore, it carries baggage. Her past comments online, the ones that sparked global backlash, still haunt the fandom. Former cast members have distanced themselves. Fan pages have gone silent. Even parts of Universal's Wizarding World tiptoe around her involvement. And now, she's back in the driver's seat. Some insiders claim her creative input will be limited, mostly sticking to lore accuracy. But others believe she'll have more control than anyone's admitting. So the question is, will her return restore the magic? Or will it split the fandom in half, all over again? This isn't just about one show. Behind the scenes, Warner Brothers is playing a much bigger game. Because this reboot, it's the starting point, not the end goal. Insiders are already whispering about a full-blown Wizarding World universe. Think spin-offs, prequels, origin stories, a young Dumbledore series, the rise of Voldemort, even a deep dive into the founders of Hogwarts. Yes, the original 4. The new Harry Potter show is just phase 1. And if it works, we're talking Marvel-level expansion. Merch, parks, games, timelines, crossovers, maybe even cursed multiverse content fans joked about, until it didn't seem like a joke anymore. But that future hangs on one thing. This image, this moment, this reboot. If it lands, we're looking at a magical empire reborn. If it flops, it might be the last spell they ever cast. So, what does this all mean? One image, one moment, and the entire internet spiraled into chaos. Again, love it or hate it, one thing's crystal clear. HBO's not playing it safe. They're not just retelling a story. They're rewriting a legacy. And whether this reboot becomes the next big thing, or the franchise's biggest mistake, we're all watching. Because when it comes to the Wizarding World, you don't just remake the magic. You either reignite it, or get burned trying. So tell me, did HBO get it right? Or is this the beginning of the end?